On a bright Saturday afternoon, my sister demolished my 6-year-old daughter's bicycle with a hammer right in front of her. My mother, instead of stepping in, pointed the finger at me. I didn't raise my voice. I just smiled, uttered one sentence, and watched their faces turn ashen. Let me pause here, because you might think I'm spinning a tale. But this really happened. Picture it, a perfect day, the kind where the chores are done, the house is quiet, and life feels almost manageable. My daughter Lily was practically bouncing with joy, eager to show off her new bike parked in the driveway. It was gleaming, vibrant, and perfect. We had company, my mother and my sister, Amanda.
Why let family drama spoil a beautiful day?
When Lily spotted them, she squealed, "Have you seen my bike?" Her voice was so full of excitement it could have lit up the street. She grabbed their hands, tugging them outside like she was unveiling a treasure. That's when I noticed Amanda's face shift. Her smile tightened, her eyes narrowed. You know that look someone gives when they've tasted something bitter but won't admit it? That was her. I knew that expression.
Il est grown-up with it.
Still, I wasn't ready for what came next. Amanda didn't say much at first. She just stood there, staring at the bike like it had insulted her. Lily was still glowing, pointing out the little details she loved, the tassels on the handlebars, the way the paint shimmered. Then Amanda spoke, her voice calm, almost eerie. "Let me show you what I think of this." Before I could process her words, she turned, marched into my house, and came back with a hammer. A hammer? In moments like that, your brain stumbles. You think, no way she's going to do it. She wouldn't. But she did. She swung the hammer down on the bike's frame with one brutal strike. The sound, it was like metal crying out. Lily let out a tiny gasp, her hands flying to her mouth. I'll never forget that image. Another swing. A sickening crunch. The paint chipped, the wheel buckled. I stood there, frozen, my body still but my mind screaming like every siren in the world had gone off. And what did Amanda say? She didn't yell or rage. She looked my 6-year-old daughter, my little girl, dead in the eyes and said, "That's a lesson for you." A lesson. As if teaching a child that happiness can be shattered with a few swings is some kind of wisdom. Lily didn't cry, not right away. She just stared at her ruined treasure, her lips trembling, her small shoulders shaking. And me? A cold wave washed over me. Not anger, not yet, just disbelief. That's when my mother chimed in. You'd think a grandmother would scoop up her granddaughter, comfort her, maybe scold her other daughter for turning the driveway into a wrecking yard. But no. She shook her head, crossed her arms, and muttered, "You shouldn't have gotten her that bike." I almost laughed. It's absurd. My sister smashes a 6-year-old's joy into scrap, and somehow I'm the one to blame. I didn't shout or cry. I didn't lunge at Amanda or yank the hammer away. No, I just smiled. Because sometimes silence cuts deeper than words. Amanda dropped the hammer on the ground with a clatter, looking pleased with herself. My mother nodded, as if Amanda had just made a profound statement. And me? I smiled and said one sentence. Whatever they expected, me begging or justifying myself, nope. What I said made their faces go pale. You're probably dying to know what I said, but hold on. Because that moment in the driveway, with the bike reduced to a mangled heap, my sister smug, my mother self-righteous, it wasn't random. It was years in the making. Amanda, my younger sister by 2 years, came into the world wailing, and honestly, I don't think she ever stopped. The difference is, most kids scream, and their parents set limits. When Amanda screamed, my parents turned to me. Every tantrum was somehow my fault. She didn't get the toy she wanted? Why didn't you share yours, Sarah? She lost a game? Why couldn't you let her win? You know how sensitive she is. She broke something? Why did you upset her so much she threw it? By 10, I could have taught a masterclass in tiptoeing around tempers. I remember one moment clearly. I saved my pocket money to buy her a little necklace. Nothing fancy, but sweet. I thought I was being a good big sister. She opened it, saw it was green instead of purple, screamed like I'd handed her a snake, and snapped it in two. My mother didn't reprimand her. She looked at me and said, "You know she loves purple. Why would you pick green?" That was my childhood in a sentence. Amanda broke things, and I got the blame. Fast forward a few decades, and guess what? Some patterns stick. I worked my way through law school, clawed my way to a good career, and now I earn more than the rest of my family. I could afford a comfortable life, and I often help them out, paying for groceries, utilities, or medical bills. But there's a catch with people who already resent you. No matter how much you give, it's never enough. I'd cover essentials, but if I said no to extras, I was selfish, greedy, stuck up. In their eyes, if I wasn't bankrolling every whim, I was the villain. So when I say the bike incident wasn't out of nowhere, do you get it? It started one day when Lily and my niece, Emma, Amanda's daughter, about the same age, were playing outside. Emma had her bike, one she'd ridden for a while, but that day it gave out. Something broke, I didn't see what, but I heard the cry. Lily, bless her, tried to help. She's 6, so her idea of fixing things is poking at them and saying, I can fix it. But they. My mother backed her up instantly. Sarah, you need to take responsibility. Lily needs to learn her actions have consequences. I didn't argue. I just said we'd take the bike home for my husband, David, to check, because sometimes you choose your fights, and sometimes you wait for evidence. That night, David wheeled the bike into his garage. He's good with tools, careful, precise. He flipped it over, inspected the chain, frame, pedals. After 10 minutes, he looked at me and said, "This wasn't Lily. It's a manufacturing defect. Look here, it could have broken on anyone." And he was right. It was dangerous. If Emma had been riding downhill or crossing a street when it failed, I don't want to finish that thought. That's when my anger kicked in. I'd battled through law school. I knew how to choose my words when someone tried to dodge accountability. I picked up the phone and called the manufacturer. I laid it out. A child's bike failed due to a defect. It's unsafe, unacceptable. I might have mentioned terms like liability and injury. It's amazing how fast people listen when you use those words. By morning, I had an email. They weren't just replacing the bike. I pushed harder. A simple replacement wasn't enough. Emma deserved better, especially after the risk she'd faced. They agreed to upgrade to the bike Emma had been dreaming of, the one she'd been talking about non-stop. When that email came, I grinned because justice was coming. Emma would get her dream bike, and Lily's name would be cleared. The whole Lily broke it nonsense would collapse the moment everyone saw what really happened. I kept it quiet, wanting it to be a surprise. Picture it, Emma's face lighting up when she saw her dream bike. Amanda realizing her daughter got something amazing because of me, not in spite of me. For a moment, I wondered if this could mend things. But as I learned in the driveway, some people don't want things fixed. They want them broken. Amanda thought I'd bought that bike for Lily, while her daughter had nothing. In her mind, Lily broke Emma's bike, and now I'd gone and gotten the exact model her daughter wanted, just to rub it in. Humiliation wrapped in kindness. Cruelty with shiny tassels. That's the story she told herself as she swung the hammer. I let the silence stretch until even the air felt tense. The metal creaked as it settled. My mother's lips pursed, as if justice had been served and cookies were next. I didn't offer cookies. "I'm only saying this once," I told them, my voice so soft it surprised me. That bike wasn't for Lily. 2 beats. Their eyes darted, searching for the catch. It was for Emma. Amanda blinked first. "No, it wasn't," she snapped, like she'd caught me in a lie. "It was," I said. "I fought the manufacturer to replace the faulty one and got the upgrade, the one she's been begging for." My mother made that tisk sound, like she was about to lecture me. "Don't be so dramatic, Sarah." I glanced at the wrecked bike. I'm not the one who brought a hammer to a kid's bike. Amanda's face flushed red. "You're lying. You always lie when you're cornered." "About what?" I said. "Emails? Paperwork? The words liability and child safety?" I smiled. "Want me to pull them up, or should I read them out loud in the front yard?" That hit hard. I saw it sink in, the realization, the flinch, the sudden urge to rearrange the narrative. Amanda's gaze flicked from the bike to Lily, then back to me. "You expect me to believe you'd do that for my kid?" "No," I said. "I expect you to regret what you just did." Lily's hand brushed my leg, small, warm, steady. I covered it with mine, not looking down. I wasn't ready for her to see my eyes yet. My mother stepped forward, as if closeness could rewrite reality. Sarah, there's no need to embarrass your sister. You can fix this. File a claim. Call it a misunderstanding. And the part where a grown woman smashed a 6-year-old's happiness on purpose. I shot back. Is that a misunderstanding or a life lesson? Amanda's arms crossed so tightly her knuckles whitened. It was just a moment, she sniffed. People have moments. Crying in the kitchen is a moment, I said. This was a wrecking crew. Watch your tone, my mother warned, as if tone was the weapon here. I let the silence settle again, heavy enough to lean on. Leave, I said. Amanda laughed, a sharp, disbelieving sound. Leave what? My house, I said. And then? My life. They stared like I'd said I was moving to Jupiter. My mother's hand flew up, clutching invisible pearls. Don't be absurd. We're family. That word, I said, doesn't mean what you think it does. Amanda stepped toward Lily. I moved instinctively, gently guiding my daughter behind me. David had been quiet until now. You know that calm some men have, like a room remembering its edges? He stepped onto the porch, wiping his hands on his jeans, and stood beside me. Time to go, he said, soft but final to both of them. David, my mother tried, talk some sense into your wife. I am, he said, and there it was, a door closing without a slam. Amanda looked past us, like the right words were still hanging somewhere in the hall. You can't do this, she said. We are family. We support each other. You brought a hammer to my daughter's happiness, I said. Support left the conversation. For a moment, her face shifted, fear, maybe, or realization. Then she turned on me, frantic. We can fix this. We'll say it was an accident. No one has to know. Lily knows, I said. I know. You know. And probably the neighbors with windows know too. My mother tried for a compromise.
We'll talk tomorrow when you're calmé. He almost looked.
I'm calm, I said.
That is what is scaring you.
David opened the gate. Please go, I said, and this time, I didn't add anything else. Some words cut deeper when they end abruptly. They hesitated, their faces caught between old habits of steamrolling and the new reality that I wasn't handing over the keys anymore. Amanda went first, her steps quick and stiff. My mother followed, pausing at the threshold like she could turn back and rewrite the scene with one sharp word. I just looked at her.
She walked out. David closed the door, not a slam, a seal.
The quiet wasn't empty. It had weight, texture, warmth. I could hear Lily's small breaths, feel the tremble fading in her hand. We stood there, letting the moment settle. Then Lily said, Mom, her voice thin as paper, did I do something bad?
He knelt to meet her eyes.
No, I said.
You did nothing wrong.
Her chin quivered. Auntie was angry. She was, I said, but people can be angry and still be wrong. She nodded, like she got it, which hurt more than the bike. Can we still have ice cream? She asked, as if we'd lost dessert privileges by upsetting family. Absolutely, I said. 2 scoops. 3 if you tell Dad your flavors.
A fin smile. Vanilla and sprinkle.
Perfect choice, David said from behind, trying to lighten the air. But the house felt different. Not heavy, like it had my whole life. Lighter, cleaner, almost too sharp. I could feel the quiet settling in, but for once, it didn't feel fragile. It felt like a boundary. As David kept Lily busy with ice cream and sprinkles, I pulled out my phone. My hands didn't shake. Not anymore. I opened every account I'd been paying into, utilities, subscriptions, groceries. I removed my cards, one by one. No announcement, no explanation, just clicks. Done. It wasn't dramatic or vengeful. It was survival. As I washed the dishes and Lily crunched sprinkles, my phone lit up. Not just texts, calls.
Mom, Amanda, Mom again.
I didn't answer, but I read one text preview. We got a notice. Your card's off the account. Why would you do that? Put it back. They knew.
Another cam second latte. What are you playing at? This is childish.
Add the card back. I stared at the screen, seeing the panic in their words. It's funny how fast people go from smug to pleading when the well runs dry.
David glanced au verre.
You don't have to respond. I know, I said, sliding the phone face down. But the buzzing didn't stop. Call after call, text after text, like they could hammer their way back into my life. One text came through with so much venom I read it twice. You'll regret this. Family is family. You can't cut us off. That's when I smiled, realizing they were wrong. I could. And I had. By morning, the calls slowed, but the texts didn't. And when the buzzing stopped, I should have known it wasn't peace. It was strategy. Because if my family's good at anything, it's rewriting the story. The first hint was a message from a cousin I hadn't talked to in months. Hey, sorry about the mess. Hope you and Lily are okay. I frowned. Mess? I considered smashing a child's bike with a hammer a crime, not a mess. Then came the screenshots. Apparently, Amanda and my mother had taken their case to the family group chat, the one still holding a grainy photo from a 2015 reunion. They spun a tale where they were the victims, and I was the monster. They said Lily broke Emma's bike, I refused to help, and then my favorite part, I cut them off financially out of spite.
Nos mentions of the hammer.
The driveway, or my mother nodding like a referee while Amanda destroyed a 6-year-old's happiness. The story was so warped it belonged in a carnival. I wanted to ignore it. I tried. But when I saw relatives replying with thumbs-up emojis, poor Emma, that's so harsh, Sarah, something in me broke. Because here's the thing, people can call me cold or difficult, but painting my daughter as a spoiled brat rewarded for ruining someone else's bike? That's a line I won't let anyone cross. So I didn't. I opened the security app. Those cameras you install to catch porch pirates? They also catch family meltdowns. There it was, clear as day, Amanda marching out with a hammer, Lily's gasp, metal buckling, paint splintering, my mother's voice blaming me in the background. The whole ugly scene. I clipped the video, didn't edit a second, and posted it to the family chat. No rant, no lecture, just the footage in one line. For the record, that bike was for Emma. Amanda smashed it herself. That's why Emma doesn't have a bike. I set the phone down. I didn't wait long. The chat erupted like a firework in a bucket. Aunts typed in all caps. Cousin sent OMG like it was a new punctuation mark. People who'd quietly bought the twisted story had to face the truth. And the truth was wearing yoga pants and swinging a hammer. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I felt drained. Because here's the truth. People don't like when you show them reality. They just pick the loudest side. My mother called within an hour. I almost didn't pick up, but part of me wanted to hear her excuse. She didn't disappoint. The driveway, or my mother nodding like a referee while Amanda destroyed a 6-year-old's happiness. The story was so warped it belonged in a carnival. I wanted to ignore it. I tried. But when I saw relatives replying with thumbs-up emojis, poor Emma, that's so harsh, Sarah, something in me broke. Because here's the thing, people can call me cold or difficult, but painting my daughter as a spoiled brat rewarded for ruining someone else's bike? That's a line I won't let anyone cross. So I didn't. I opened the security app. Those cameras you install to catch porch pirates? They also catch family meltdowns. There it was, clear as day, Amanda marching out with a hammer, Lily's gasp, metal buckling, paint splintering, my mother's voice blaming me in the background. The whole ugly scene. I clipped the video, didn't edit a second, and posted it to the family chat. No rant, no lecture, just the footage in one line. For the record, that bike was for Emma. Amanda smashed it herself. That's why Emma doesn't have a bike. I set the phone down. I didn't wait long. The chat erupted like a firework in a bucket. Aunts typed in all caps. Cousin sent OMG like it was a new punctuation mark. People who'd quietly bought the twisted story had to face the truth. And the truth was wearing yoga pants and swinging a hammer. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I felt drained. Because here's the truth. People don't like when you show them reality. They just pick the loudest side. My mother called within an hour. I almost didn't pick up, but part of me wanted to hear her excuse. She didn't disappoint. Okay, maybe Amanda went too far, she said. But posting that video? You've ruined her reputation.
Ibne Shafqat.
She ruined herself, Mom. I just hit record. You don't shame your family, she snapped. Funny, I said. That's exactly what she did to a 6-year-old with a hammer. The silence on the line was sharp enough to cut glass. Then she hung up. But the fallout wasn't done. The video didn't stay in the family chat. It spread, friends, neighbors. Someone even posted it on social media with "Who does this?" Amanda's husband saw it. I've never gotten along with him. He always seemed like he was auditioning for most tired man alive. But even he couldn't watch that video and shrug. He called me, which he never does. Is it real? He asked, his voice flat but with an edge. Yes, I said. It's real. He exhaled, like air escaping a punctured tire. Thank you, he said, and hung up. Next thing I knew, he'd filed for divorce and custody of Emma. And for the first time, I felt a flicker of relief. Someone else had finally seen it. Finally said, this isn't okay. The calls from Amanda and my mother kept coming, but their tone shifted, less smug, more desperate. You didn't have to post it. You're destroying this family. Think of Emma. As if I hadn't been thinking of her all along. I stopped replying. That night, I sat on Lily's bed, watching her sleep, and let myself feel something I hadn't in years. Not anger or exhaustion, but clarity. Because here's what they never got. Family isn't a blank check. You don't get to smash, lie, and demand while expecting blind loyalty. Family is supposed to mean safety, love, protection. And if it doesn't, maybe family's just a word people use to dodge consequences.
Hydroseline.
For some, it might seem too harsh. For others, not harsh enough.
What do you think?
Share in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe too.